Shalom, Apostle Tahar, coming back at you with the truth, giving all praise to you. How about Shem Yahweh Shai, about Shem Kodash. Some of y'all say Ha Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit. That's all right too. Anyway, this video I'm going to entitle Vocab Malon is losing sleep over the Israelites, GMS. And I put in GMS in the title because it's 11 minutes in, he hasn't mentioned GMS and myself. He doesn't even call me Tahar no more. He calls me Tar. What are you trying to say? I'm a Tar baby? Anyway, this is from a video entitled Vocab Malon and Divine Prospect have a dialogue. And at this 11 minutes and 10 seconds in, you can go maybe 10 minutes in, he goes into the whole ancestry of his German roots, which it took a while to pull it out of him. And he's telling you how thick Italian or Sicilian blood is, that Italian or Sicilian blood on his mother's side is so thick, it covers the German side. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, you are who your father is. You can get the blackest, I'll use the word blackest, African. You have Africans that are actually super dark brown, but they're so brown that they look black. And you can get an Edomite, and the mothers are dark skinned, so-called black African, and an Edomite, and they have children, and those babies come out about just as dark as their mother, with kinky hair, woolly hair, whatever you want to call it. That's still an Edomite. That's still an Edomite. And that's what Esau did when his parents told him not to deal with the Canaanites. He went ahead and dealt with the Canaanites anyway. Now, it doesn't tell you why he dealt with the Canaanites and go against his parents, but we take out of it or extrapolate that he came out looking different from everybody else. Everybody else was different shades. Everyone else was different shades of dark, brown back then, and he was as we say, red, meaning his skin was pale, lack of pigment. All he had was a lack of pigment, and the red blood, which we all have, that's what you see. The red that you see is the blood through his translucent, not transparent skin, but translucent skin. Lucent meaning light. When light hits it, you can kind of see the redness. Like a dark-skinned person, you can't see any red because of melanin. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna let him say what he got to say, and he's losing sleep over the fact that he knows he may very well be an Edomite. Now I'm gonna say this: just because you're a German doesn't mean that you're an Edomite, because remember, Israel was scattered throughout the whole planet. You have like this whole thing with Nipsey Hussle, which we found out that he was a Trayan. Like this actress, what's this actress? She's playing in all these movies, comedy actress. Somebody help me out on the comment board. But anyway, her mother's Jake from over there on the West Coast, and her father is a Trayan. And the people of Atria are actually Cush. They would be classified as Cushites because they look like Cushites. If you go to a map and you go to on a map where it shows you the outline or the border of Atria, to the left of it, which is the west of Atria, is Sudan, northwest, and to the south of it is Ethiopia. So I believe Ethiopia touches Atria. So you got Jake's. Now we don't know if he was if you can get pictures of his father looks Ethiopian / Eritrean. Now we don't know if he was born in the States or born in Eritrea. We don't know, but he found out about his, I believe he was born here. He found out about his roots. So now he could be a Hamite, pursuant to where, based on where his father's from. It's all about the father, vocab. It's all about the father. I don't give a damn how thick your Sicilian blood is. You are who your father is. Like I said, if you're German, there's a German people that look like Germans out there that look like Edomites that are actually Israelites. We were totally scattered throughout the whole planet Earth, so we look like everybody. It tells you that in Jeremiah 9 and 12. Let me get that real quick, and I'm gonna let you hear this. I'm not gonna make this video long, so I know there'll be responses to this video. Jeremiah was Jeremiah 9 and 12, I believe. We'll find out. I'm sorry, it's Jeremiah 12 and 9. Jeremiah 12 and 9. Mine heritage. Let me click on the word heritage. Heritage meaning land mass, but it also means your culture. It says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds, now these birds, speckled bird meaning where the Most High's liken us unto birds. The birds, the other nations, that's what that's talking about, round about are against her. Against who? The Israelites. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to devour. Well, this right here, what scriptures that come to mind is Psalms 83. I'm sorry, I spelled that wrong. 83. It says a song or psalm of Asaph. Psalm means song. So this was sung. Just like David put together psalms, those are actually songs that he sung. Keep not thou silent, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. So he's calling on the Most High for help. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. These are the other nations. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who are the Most High's people? The Israelites. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why in the United Nations building, there's no seat for the Negroes. There's no seat. I don't believe there's any seat for the North American Indians. Now, you might have seats for some of the Latin tribes, but those are puppets that are set up there. And they represent a landmass. Like I said, there's no seat for the Negroes. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So us here coming up on the scene calling ourselves Israelites, they don't want that to happen. They don't want the truth to come out. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are Yeah, where do you hear of these other nations coming out saying that you got to give the true Israelites their land back? When they have their general assemblies, they don't mention that. They don't mention the so-called blacks in America, Negroes in America. When are they going to get their... the UN is all about disputes, land disputes, national disputes, so you have these meetings so you don't have wars, but you still have wars. Here the UN been around since when? What, the 50s? If I'm not mistaken, I can go look it up. We can always go look it up. But anyway, that's for disputes. If there's a dispute, you come before the UN among these other nations. Anyway, it says they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in their remembrance." So get it out of their mind. And there's so many Israelite groups out there on the highways and the byways doing videos that there's got to be some nations that kind of say, well, wait a minute, that makes sense. They are Israelites and they should have their land back. And they teach that Gad is the North American Indians and so-called white men are Edomites. They're not going to mention Edomites. They're not going to mention Gadites. They're not going to mention Israelites as far as who the true Israelites are. Because why? Because they take crafty counsel against thy people. So all these nations, leaders of these nations, they know exactly who the Israelites are. It says, 4th verse again, they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in their remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They're all in agreement. They are confederate against thee, the Israelites." Now I'll give you a name of some of the nations. The Tabernacle of Edom, that's the first name, which are the so-called white people. Although you're going to have so-called white people that are actually Israelites, the Ishmaelites. All this stuff about the Arabs going against America and the Jews, they're all together, man. Because all these so-called nations, these nations that they say are sponsors of terrorism, they got a seat in the UN. Muammar Gaddafi, the leader of Iran, the leader of Iraq, they all got seats. So I thought, well, come on, man. Of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, which are Africans. You got seats for the various. You have the continent of Africa, and you have how many countries in Africa? Well, they all have seats. That's why they said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation." 8 verse, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. The children of Lot are the Moabites and the Ammonites. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jebin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. And when these missiles hit, the people they're gonna become dung as the dung of the earth. So this is Asaph talking about what the Most High should do. He's praying that the Most High does this to these nations. 13 verse, "O my power, make them like a will, as the stubble before the wind." What's stubble? He's basically telling them to destroy them by those missiles. The word for stubble is chaff or stubble. Basically dust. It says, "As the fire burneth a wood," when you take wood and you put fire to it, it burns it and it becomes chaff or stubble. And as the flame setteth the mountain on fire. Ooh, that's prophetic right there. That's prophetic right there. And mountains mean governments. Excuse me. I'm going to show you something. And that mountain is Babylon the Great, which is America. Let me show you that real quick. If I can find it. Okay, I found it. Jeremiah 51 verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain. Who is the destroying mountain? Or what is the destroying mountain? Babylon the Great. Saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And what thing is going to make it a burnt mountain? Those missiles. So now with that being said, let me go to the video. And let me let you hear a little bit. I mean, not a little bit more than 10 minutes is in this video. And here he's mentioning GMS and Tahar. Listen up.
That's not a problem. Now, ironically, most of them are Christians. Most of them are practicing Christians, just with some different things. For example.
And what makes you a Christian? The fact that you have to be an Israelite in order for you to be a Christian. The word Christian, if you look it up, is from the Greek and also the Latin. One is started, the first letter is a K, the other first letter is a C. Christos, and that means, or Christian means, of basically a follower of the Messiah. So back then, if you go to Acts, it says and the apostles are called Christian first at Antioch. That was the word there was Mashayak Yayim or Mashayak Yam, which are Messiahites. Mashayak Ya is a Messiahite. He is a follower of Messiah. That's what they were calling him. But the Romans, if the Romans were speaking, of course, the Latin tongue, they would call him Christos.
Abstaining from pork and things like that, and that's fine. It's not that. Besides, people say, "Oh, well, you can't admit black people are Israelites." Well, the claims of the camps is not that black people are Israelites anyway. It's a claim of all these different kinds of people are Israelites, and then you get the GMS. It's like anyone who agrees with the teachings in Israelite.
So let me ask you a question. So, yeah.
No, I didn't say that anyone that agrees. He put words in our mouth. He said anyone that agrees with the teaching is an Israelite. No, it's anybody that agrees with the teaching that is an Israelite through the Spirit.
Your background from what you put out is German and Italian, correct?
Primarily, that's the main thing. If you know Italians, they're always going to say they're Italian no matter what, because people are like, "Oh, his father." Here's the thing. I don't care what Tar says I need to call myself. I know what we do, which is, it's FBI. You may not be FBI, which is full-blooded Italian. You may not be, but if you are, if you have, the idea is Sicilian blood is thick. It's like,
it's not about the blood, man. Do you know you can take the blood of an Edomite and do what's called a blood transfusion to a Moabite? It depends on the blood type. You know, a lot of Edomites, they receive organs. They want organs from a so-called black person. So in getting that organ, they would have to be the same blood type, and they would most likely have to get a blood transfusion. So you can't do a blood transfusion as an Edomite and now you're an Israelite because your blood is that of an Israelite. It's the spirit that's in you. When a man puts forth his seed into a woman in the womb, and that fetus, and fetus means little one, begins to grow in the womb, the Most High puts the spirit in that baby. And whatever man that put his seed in the womb, if that man is an Israelite and he puts his seed in a Moabite woman, the children are going to come out looking kind of Oriental, depending on how far. Let's say it's a light-skinned Jake, super light-skinned Jake, maybe like myself, and I get with a Moabite woman, and I put my seed in her, and she has a child. The child might look full-blooded Moabite, a Chinese person or Japanese, whatever the case may be, but that baby is based upon who the father is. The man puts the physical seed in there, and the Most High puts the spirit. The spirit goes. That's what the soul is. When a baby's born, that means a baby has a spirit in it, and the spirit is the spirit of the Father. It has nothing to do with the blood. You can do a blood transfusion. You can be an Edomite and get a blood transfusion using Jake's blood. That doesn't turn you into that doesn't make you a Jake. Okay? Like I said, this man is obsessed. And you know why? Because he didn't mention ISUPK. Which ISUPK and pretty much teach the same thing that we teach. But he knows something, man. They done told him something. They said, yeah, GMS, that's got to be the group. He's obsessed with us, man. Let's listen on.
Like pasta sauce. It's like marinara. You're going to claim that's who you are. So people are like, oh, you're trying to trick us. No one's trying to trick me. That's what I say about myself. But if I was trying to trick
because you don't understand. Just like you don't understand the reincarnation thing. Anytime you want to make this guy, you want to get him to be angry, bring up the reincarnation thing, and he'll basically give you is reincarnation biblical? He'll give you a flat out no. He won't explain it. He won't say, well, if you go to this scripture and you're breaking this scripture, he doesn't want to touch that subject, man. I don't know if the divine one, that's what I'm gonna call him. I don't know if the divine one knows about reincarnation. He should do a video on it. Come on the comment board and give his stance on is reincarnation spoken about in the Bible. We know the word reincarnation. You got the word regeneration. You got resurrection. You don't have the word reincarnation. It's just another way of saying regeneration. The gene is your seed, which is flesh. A reincarnation. Carni is flesh. Is the seed flesh? Yes. It's a small seed, your sperm. That sperm grows into a little person. And then the spirit goes into that and that seed, and that fetus. And that fetus and that seed or that spirit come from the man's, not necessarily his father, because his father could still be living. Not necessarily his grandfather, because his grandfather could be still living. And it could be from his great-grandfather, which probably died maybe 5 years ago or 3 years ago, and he puts the seed in a woman, and the Most High takes the seed from his great-grandfather, which died maybe 2-3 years ago, and puts that seed puts that spirit into that seed, into that woman, and that baby that grows up that you taking care of and you're showing love. Well, you're showing love to most likely your great grandfather. That's why it says what it says in it's in Deuteronomy, and it's also in the wicked will not understand. Daniel 12. Was that Daniel 12 and 10? This is basic stuff. This is, man, I was supposed to get on the road and make some money, but hey, this comes first. Anyway, where was I going to go? Damn, I forgot where I was going to go. Oh, it just came back. And for you guys in GMS that you don't have any ideas for the scriptures, I mean, for making videos and really pushing this thing, you're not really a part of GMS. You should, gracefully bow out and go about your business. If you're not passionate about this thing, you're in the wrong place. Okay, could you please explain this to me, vocab? This is Exodus 20, verse 4 and 5. It says, Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. Now, if you have a statue and you have a likeness, you have a trophy or whatever the case may be of a animal or whatever, a picture of an animal, well, you're not going off. Now, if you're bowing down to that picture or that statue, then you're going off. Because when you read about Solomon's house, he had lions overlaid with gold. He had, different things. When you read the description of the house, well, he wasn't bowing down to them lions and those animals and those things in the house. It says, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, the Most High, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon their children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Now the scriptures say that the father cannot pay for the sins of the sons, and the sons cannot pay for the sins of the father. You pay for your own sins. So why would matter of fact, give me a second. I want to bring this up. I'm gonna bring this up real quick, if I can find it. Like I said, I didn't set up anything. Okay, this is Ezekiel 18, verse 20. I should have known this by heart. Anyway, it says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. Let me read that again. Ezekiel 18, verse 20. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. So now let's go back to Exodus 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord Yahweh, the Most High, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the children are going to have to pay for what the fathers did? Well, that goes against what I just read in Ezekiel 18 and verse 20. Upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Why did it say third and fourth generation? I explained it. You come back every 3 or 4 generations from your father's line. So let me let you listen to a little more, and then I'm gonna close.
Trick people. Why would I never say? No one discovered that I had German ancestry. I told people because to me it's irrelevant.
Okay, so you told the truth that you may. We believe you're an Edomite because you don't understand the scriptures. The wicked, we believe that you're one of the wicked because you don't understand the scriptures. If you truly understood the scriptures and you said, yes, we are the Israelites based on my research, based on interviews I did with scholars, you have to be the Israelites. Because everything points to us. We know that we're the Israelites based upon the prophecies, man. Everything points to us. You know, they used to teach that, well, they still do. Oh, well, the Romans destroyed the record, so we don't know who. Well, you know what? We know who we are based upon the Spirit. Let me go to Romans 8. Esau cannot deal with a spiritual war. He can't fight a spiritual war. All he can do is fight a carnal war. He received the carnal sword, right? Romans 8, verse 16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Another name for the children of the Most High is the Israelites. Yashir Allah. He, prince. A prince is the son of a king. Allah, which means God. The Spirit itself. We don't need records. We don't need books. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. We're doing the things when we go out there on the camps, the highways and the byways, not just us, but all the other camps. That's a fulfillment of Psalms 50 and 16 down to about the 18th verse, and also Ezekiel the 37th verse, and also Revelation 11, Ezekiel the 37th chapter, and also Revelation the 11th chapter. When you read that, those are some of a few of the scriptures that talk about how we're going to raise up from the proverbial dust, from this dead state that we're in, and we're going to proclaim that we're the Israelites, so-called Jews, and carry around the 12 tribe sign, pursuant to Ezekiel 37. And you ones that say, well, the 12 tribe sign is BS. Well, please tell me, when did Ezekiel ever walk around with a sign with the 12 tribes on it? Anyway, with that, I don't got to listen to any more. You know, I believe I made my point. Anyway, watch the video. This was put up by a faithful to God, entitled Vocab Malon and Divine Prospect have a dialogue, and this guy's telling you that he's Ragu Blood, his new name, Ragu Blood. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.